Hey, have you ever considered speaking gigs as an income stream for your business? I'm Kaylee from Better Business, Better Life, and last week in my Profit Rocket Entrepreneurs group, I spoke about the easiest way to get clients offline through local networking groups. But today I wanted to take that one step further. So, the really successful entrepreneurs have multiple income streams. Now, you can think about that in terms of multiple offers, so multiple different types of offers, whether it's products, services, affiliate income, etc. But you can also think about it in terms of the strategies you're using to promote those products, services, offers. So I wanted to talk to you today about the power of making sales and increasing your brand awareness, because it does that automatically as well, through speaking gigs. So if you're joining me live, be sure to say hello. Forgive the winter rug jumper I've got on. Moved back from New South Wales to Victoria, the bottom of Victoria this week, well, last week now, and it's officially freezing. I was always too hot in Newcastle and thought, no, I haven't adjusted to the heat. Turns out I hadn't adjusted to the heat, but I have lost the ability to deal with the cold. So, yeah, absolutely freezing where I am. But let's focus on how to make income from speaking gigs. So, probably when you think about attending local networking groups, you think of it in terms of getting to know people one-on-one and, building that relationship with them and potentially gaining clients from that. A way you can fast track your marketing and fast track your business growth is by actually spreading your message one to many. So as in, you are talking to many people at once, and speaking gigs are a great way to do that. Now, the obvious place to start if you are already attending local networking groups is to pitch yourself as a speaker for the group. Identify a topic that's within your expertise that you know the group wants to hear more about. But don't limit yourself to locally either. So I know myself last year I spoke at a number of groups locally in Newcastle, but I also spoke at events interstate. Here's the thing. If you want to make sales from your speaking gigs, there are 3 key decisions you need to make. And I'm going to go through them with you tonight so that you can make an informed choice when you get the opportunity or when you pitch for the opportunity to speak to a group. So the very first decision you need to make is if you want to focus on speaking gigs that pay you up front. So for example, the host of the gig pays you, or if you want to focus on opportunities where you're not necessarily paid up front, but you get the opportunity to sell during your presentation. So when I talk about being paid up front, usually, and not always, but usually the host won't be keen for you to make a paid offer to the group as well, for the very reason that they've paid you up front. So people aren't expecting to hear an offer from you as well. That said, if you're choosing to be paid up front, and obviously that's been accepted by the host, I would really encourage you to negotiate to be at least able to present your freebie, offer your freebie to your audience. Having said that, I personally, and it's not to say it's the right way, but personally I prefer to do speaking gigs where I'm not necessarily paid up front, but I have the ability to make a pitch, to make an offer to the audience. So for example, recently I spoke with Lake Mac Women in Business, a local networking group, and I made an offer at the end of my presentation, which was taken up by a number of people, which of course is fantastic. Had Lake Mac Women in Business paid for me to make the presentation, they may not have felt so comfortable. Hey Lauren! With me making the pitch. So that's the very first decision you need to make. Are you going to focus on speaking gigs where you get paid up front? Or do you want to focus on gigs where you don't necessarily get paid up front, but you have the opportunity to pitch an offer during or at the end of your presentation, which means that you're rather unlimited in terms of how many sales you can make, of course to the size of the audience, but you can convert great percentage. Oh, thank you, Lauren says it was a great talk. You can convert a great percentage of your audience into clients by making an offer. So Lauren, I know you also do a lot of presentations and talks and speaking gigs. Do you, if you don't mind me asking, do you prefer to be paid up front, or do you focus on speaking gigs where you can make an offer at the end or during your presentation? So that's the first decision to make. Do you want to be paid up front for your gig? And, you know, look, if you're traveling and you're new to speaking, that might be a really great option for you, because you know you'll at least cover, you can make sure that you'll cover your expenses beforehand, and you might choose to focus on brand awareness. But if you're more established and more confident, or it's a local speaking gig, then that's a great opportunity to take the ceiling off your income, your possible earnings, the possible money you make by being able to pitch at the end. So Lauren's just saying she does a combo of both. So yeah, depends on who, where, and purpose. Absolutely. And especially, like, I know, Lauren, you're very experienced at this, but if you're someone that listening that's quite new to speaking, do a combo of both and just discover what feels right for you. There's no rule to say you have to stick to one. And I have certainly done both myself. When I've been presenting to local government organisations or local government hosted workshops, then the rule tends to be that you're not allowed to pitch anyway. Or you're allowed to offer a freebie, but certainly not to make a paid offer pitch. But I love doing workshops to local communities through local government hosted workshops. So I choose to do that. But I also focus on gigs where I have the opportunity to pitch an offer. So yeah, Lauren's going, definitely, yeah. We don't have to stick to one option, or we can change our minds, we can do a combination, whatever works for you. So the very second factor that you need to consider, or the second decision you need to make when it comes to your speaking gig, is around the offer you're going to make and the content of your presentation. So you've got a couple of options here again. First of all, you could choose to cover the content that is in your paid offer, so people get to understand the process or the steps or whatever it is that you are teaching, and then focus your offer on them getting, whether it's one-on-one support or a group opportunity, to get customised feedback and customised review support when it comes to actually implementing that process or whatever content you've taught them within the speaking gig. That's one way of doing it. And I know my friend Marissa Roberts from Beautifully Organised Business does this with her Facebook Live as it happens, and I'm sure she has for speaking gigs as well. She teaches the content in her course and then provides that customised support and feedback in her paid offers. Personally, I tend to go the other option. The other option is to teach content that educates your audience and leads them up to the problem and the solution that your paid offer focuses on. So, for example, I talked about the Lake Mac Women in Business speaking gig I did recently. What I did there was I talked about the opportunities presented by Facebook Live. So what was possible? I was really thrilled because we had great interaction and lots of questions for the audience. I spoke about different factors that impact on the success of your Facebook Lives, different tips that could help you increase your reach, improve your topic, get greater sales from your Facebook Lives. But I cover much more content than that within Facebook Live to thrive, and especially within the bonuses. I've got the Simplify the Tech Blueprint. I've got the content toolbox that gives you enough content for 60 weeks if you choose to take up the paid offer. But you see how with that option I've actually provided content that made my audience really aware of what's possible for their business with Facebook Live, and then the offer I've made is how to do it, how to maximize their audience, how to choose the right topics, how to support your launch with Facebook Live, all those sorts of things. And my offer was focused on that, whereas the content of the workshop was focused on helping people become educated so that they knew there was value in my offer. So that's the decision, the second decision you've got to make. Are you going to give them all the content in your course, and then your offer is focused around the support you can provide and the tailored feedback? Or do you want to provide content that makes people aware of the opportunity presented by what you teach about, in my case Facebook Live, and then the paid content is actually the steps to implement that to get the results that you are sharing that are possible. So if you, and I can see a few of you are joining me live, which is awesome, be sure to say hello because it's nice to actually have a conversation. But let me know, which way do you go with your presentation and your paid offers? Do you go with covering all the content up front and then your offers focused on the feedback, the tailored feedback? Or do you demonstrate the possibilities, cover some of the myths around whatever you're promoting, and then make a paid offer on the how to get the results? Let me know. So that's the second decision you need to make when it comes to your speaking gig. The third decision is how you're going to get people to take action on the offer you make. So you need to answer for them, what is it that makes them need it now? Why do they need to take action now? And again, like it's like business, isn't it? Everything has a few options and it's hard to know sometimes which way to go, but it comes back to what feels more comfortable for you, what you feel more comfortable, confident with presenting in your speaking gigs. So you've got to look at creating natural urgency, so why they should buy it now, but also manufacturing urgency or scarcity. So natural versus manufactured, and I would actually aim to do a combination of both if you can. So an example of natural urgency is knowing your ideal client really, really well and meeting them where they're at. So for an example, and when I wrote this in my notes earlier today, I went, oh God, that's close to home, but that's okay, it's a really powerful example. Say you're a weight loss coach. You know that your clients are going to be ready to act where you want to meet them, where they are ready to act right now. Could be that, hey, they've been they lost weight previously, but they've been putting it on again and they're not prepared to buy another larger size of clothes. So for example, I call them my fat clothes. Like if I get to the point that I'm bursting out of my fat clothes, I can guarantee that right now is the time I'm going to take action to change that. And I'm going to seek out that weight loss coach, that personal trainer, whatever it may be, whoever it may be. And that also shows why it's so important to be consistent with your marketing, whether it's in speaking gigs or out, in addition to speaking gigs. That consistent showing up means that you'll be in front of the right people when they're ready to act now. So that's one example of natural urgency, meeting people where they're at, knowing your ideal clients really, really well, and making an offer that meets them where they're at when they're ready to act. So another example of that, one of my clients who actually happens to be in Facebook Live to Thrive, she has a yard makeover service. So basically when people are ready to sell their properties but they want to maximise the price that they get, the result they get from the sale of their home, Christine comes in and actually does a yard renovation, which has been proven to show through research that if you do these yard makeovers, it increases the value of your home. Now, when we think about who is ready to act on that right now, what came to me today was like, okay, say I'm, part of I've got a young family and I need to upsize my home because the kids are just they're growing up and they're not fitting in anymore. I know I have to have a certain amount of money to buy that bigger family home. I can guarantee if Christine's yard makeover service is being promoted in a speaking gig or any marketing to me at that point, and I know that as a result, if I invest say, I'm not sure what Christine charges, but say I invest $3,000 to get a yard makeover, and that's going to result in $20,000 more in the sales result. I'm definitely going to make that investment. I am ready to act now. So that's what you're trying to achieve with your natural urgency. The other side of the coin is the more manufactured urgency. And it's not that it's not genuine, it's just that you're providing an extra reason to act. So an example is with the Lake Mac, really, Lauren, I've tried. Lake Mac Women in Business. My offer was my Facebook Live to Thrive program with the bonuses of the content toolbox, the Facebook community, and also the Simplify the Tech Blueprint. But what I offered in addition to that was an extra bonus that I hadn't offered anywhere else. So I offered a bonus 45-minute one-on-one session to help people really tailor Facebook and Facebook Live to make sure that they get great results from their marketing, from their Facebook Live activities. So that was an extra incentive that I haven't promoted anywhere else to get them to act, to take action. I also made it available at a limited time discount. So the extra bonus session, one-on-one session, and the reduced price was only available if people invested on the same day as the speaking gig. So it created that urgency for them to act. Another option you could do, which I didn't incorporate with Lake Mac Women in Business, but you can absolutely do, is, and particularly if it's a service-based offer, because, you know, we all have limited time that we have available to provide services, is to actually limit the number of that offer available. So it might be that, you know, if you're offering a one-on-one service, that you only make it available to 5 people. I've seen this work really well. I went to a couple of conferences in the States last year and also in 2014, and it was mind-blowing to me when I first saw this, and when I first learned about speaking to sell as well, was that people speaking on stage, the presenters, would offer, and they'd make a paid offer that was available to everyone, but then there would be an added incentive or an added bonus that was really relevant, because it has to be relevant if it's going to incentivize people to act. But they limited the number of people that would get this extra bonus over and above everybody else. And it was mind-blowing. At these sessions, there would be people lining up at the back of the room to claim their package before the speaker had even finished speaking. I was really blown away when I first saw this. These people rushing to the back of the room, and they didn't even know what the offer was yet. But that's the power of creating urgency. So again, how will you create the natural urgency? By knowing your client and meeting them right where they need help right now, but also manufacturing urgency, creating that fear of missing out, creating that scarcity, creating those extra incentives that they will only get if they act now. So I can see there's a few of you on here. If you've done a speaking gig before, have you used any of these urgency or scarcity creating tools to generate sales for your business? So while you're having a chance to answer that, with the Lake Mac Women in Business, for example, oh, thank you for the heart. It didn't show me who that was, but I really appreciate it. With Lake Mac Women in Business, there was probably about 25 people there. 3 people took up my Facebook Live to Thrive offer. And as I said before, that extra bonus of a one-on-one session and the limited time reduced price worked really well. People converted really well. I've done this before at other speaking gigs, and I will continue to actively pursue speaking gigs because I want to be able to help as many people as I can, which requires me to get my message out to as many people as I can. But like anything, if you want... Oh, my battery's just telling me it's slow, so I'll talk fast. If you want the best results, you've got to invest. if I want, I've got an aching tooth, for example, and I go to a free dentist, I think we should all be pretty scared for the results. Whereas if I pay for a great dentist, that toothache should go away, and there hopefully won't be any lasting issues with that. So there is that need to invest, but it means that I can help more people because I'm getting my message out to more people faster. So look, I hope you found that really helpful. To just recap, the 3 key factors in terms of your ability to generate money, to generate sales from speaking gigs. The first one, do you want to be paid up front for the gig, or do you want to have the opportunity to make a paid offer, pitch an offer? The second decision you've got to make, are you going to cover the content in your... Oh, thanks, Lauren. Great advice. Thank you. Are you going to cover the content in your paid offer and focus on customized feedback in your paid offer? Or are you going to teach people about the benefits of whatever you teach about and then promote the offer as the next step on and to get the how-to? And the final decision, how are you going to create urgency? So how will you incorporate natural urgency, meeting people where they're at with the problem they need to fix right now, that they're really motivated to fix right now, and also that manufactured urgency, the limited time bonuses, the limited time offers, those limited quantities to get people to act. So look, whether you've joined me live, for those who've joined me live, thank you so much for being here. For anyone who's watching the recording, if you have any questions, for all of you, if you have any questions, please ask in the comments, because I always come back and I always answer any questions, any comments, and I love to hear from you. If it's been helpful, be sure to tag someone that you think it would help in the comments. We all rise together. Let's help each other out. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.